Ichungwah. Give him the mic.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Mine is on a point of order, Honorable Speaker, on a matter of decorum of the House. Because, Honorable Speaker, I was just perusing through what is going on my phone.
Yes.
And I saw the Honorable Salasya, the member for Mumias,
Yes.
is live streaming
The proceedings of the House.
proceedings of the House, recording himself from his seat at the back. Honorable Speaker, the House and the Parliamentary Service Commission has given us live coverage on national TV, and we cannot belittle the work of this House through such uncouth methods as live streaming, recording on your phone and live streaming what is going on in the House, and saying very unpalatable things on live media. Now, request that you ask him to even delete those things and apologize to the House.
Honorable Salasya, is that correct?
Speaker, you know, most of the time when I've been staying here for a very long time without being given an opportunity to speak.
Honorable Salasya, is what is being alleged correct?
I don't know what he's talking about because I don't run my social media platforms. So, Speaker, I've been carrying up my hand.
Honorable Salasya, the issue is, are you live streaming the proceedings and making unpalatable comments along the way?
Speaker, I don't know what Mheshimiwa Ichungwah is talking about. What I just wanted, I also have my own contribution.
Honorable Salasya, be honorable, my dear young man. If you are not honorable, it's very easy for Parliament to ask for the logs on your phone and see what you are doing. If you say it is true, then the Speaker will take some other remedial action. If you don't, it's a matter that can find your way to the Powers and Privileges Committee with unintended consequences. Why are you doing so?
Maybe, Speaker, maybe I'll have to confirm with what he's talking about.
Honorable Salasya, you know dishonesty is not a virtue.
Speaker, I don't know what he's saying. Maybe I go and confirm what he's talking about, but I had also just raised my hand so that I can speak what I feel that I should speak.
Order, Honorable Salasya. I believe when you are in the chamber, you are listening and following proceedings. Take your seat. You are listening and following proceedings. And what we are discussing this afternoon is a very serious matter. The independence of this House is an issue. The leadership of this House is an issue. And every member who has spoken here, you've listened, your seniors, your peers, have been very focused. Even members who have sat for a long time, you complain that you've been raising your hand. There are many, Lotte here has been sitting here since. We have Ferdinand Wanyonyi here, Amze, has been sitting here since. The issue is, were you streaming the proceedings live and making comments along the way? Comments that your colleagues are saying are unpalatable. And that is the issue that has been raised by the member for Kikuyu.
Speaker,
you've even forgotten to switch off your phone. It's still streaming, I'm told.
Here. So I don't know, maybe Honorable Ichungwah can say maybe what I've said.
Honorable Salasya, what I'll do is I'll instruct the clerk to get the logs on your phone, and if I find that what is being alleged is correct, then I'll invite a member to file a complaint and refer to the Powers and Privileges Committee for appropriate action. You can also be named. Yes, Wamumbi? Yes, okay. Robert Mbui, I'll give you an opportunity to contribute. Clerk, proceed to get the details on Honorable Salasya's phone and furnish with the Speaker immediately. Robert Mbui, proceed to contribute.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for this opportunity. Mr. Speaker, first I find this
creates an attempt to make a law which they shouldn't do. Their work should be to interpret. My submissions, Honorable Speaker.
Before I give the next, Honorable Salasya, I'm told you want to not to contribute because you are under quarantine on the issue raised. The clerk tells me you want to say something to that.
Yeah, Mr. Speaker, I want to say that whatever Mheshimiwa Ichungwah said, if I felt like maybe it was in bad intention, maybe I apologize. But Mr. Speaker, also, as we people...
Order, Honorable Salasya. Were you recording? Because you say if, it's like there's no remorse. If you are recording, it is not permitted by our standing orders. So if you did that, I want to guide you as a young member, and I want you to grow in your leadership. There is a lot of decency, and the Bible says the greatest word in human relations is one word called sorry. If you did that, say sorry and delete those logs, and we go on.
Okay, Mr. Speaker, I apologize and withdraw and delete.
Delete all those logs and let the clerk confirm. Waluke John.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, for giving me this chance.
Yes, go on, Ferdinand.
So what I was saying is that, Mr. Speaker, as you retreat, I think we need to look at the coalition. If it's Simio, how many people are there? Because people have moved out, the others have come in. See how many, Kenya Kwanza, how many people are there to be able to know who the majority is. It's as simple as that, so I can be able to move forward. I raise my case.
Thank you, Kimani.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. On the issue of whether the Speaker is supposed to belong to any particular political party, the law is very clear on every appointed and elective position that this country holds. And I've looked, and there is nowhere that has a requirement. Where the law has required that a particular person belong or not to belong to a political party, the law has expressly said so. Honorable Speaker, studying this judgment, paragraph 493, just to read verbatim of this judgment, says, it will be remembered that our Constitution at Article 99(1)(c) only singles out the Speaker as the ex-officio member of the National Assembly, unlike all the other members because of his special status. Honorable Speaker, the judges that were making this ruling not even bother to read what Article 99(1)(c) of the Constitution says. If you read Article 99(1)(c) of the Constitution and to read it verbatim, it says qualification and disqualification from election as members of Parliament. So 1, unless disqualified under Clause 2, a person is eligible for election as a member of Parliament if the person A is a registered voter, B satisfies any education, moral and ethical requirements, C is nominated by a political party or is an independent candidate who is supported. And therefore, even the reference to that article of the Constitution that they purport to quote for this particular judgment, Honorable Speaker, is not what the law says. And therefore, the question we're asking ourselves, should then the judiciary either interpret the law or make the law? Because even by them quoting a reference that completely unrelates to that particular judgment, creates an attempt to make a law which they shouldn't do. Their work should be to interpret. My submissions, Honorable Speaker.
Before I give the next, Honorable Salasya, I'm told you want to not to contribute because you are under quarantine on the issue raised. The clerk tells me you want to say something to that.
Yeah, Mr. Speaker, I want to say that whatever Mheshimiwa Ichungwah said, if I felt like maybe it was in bad intention, maybe I apologize. But Mr. Speaker, also, as we people...
Order, Honorable Salasya. Were you recording? Because you say if, it's like there's no remorse. If you are recording, it is not permitted by our standing orders. So if you did that, I want to guide you as a young member, and I want you to grow in your leadership. There is a lot of decency, And the Bible says the greatest word in human relations is one word called sorry. If you did that, say sorry and delete those logs, and we go on.
Okay, Mr. Speaker, I apologize and withdraw and delete.
Delete all those logs and let the clerk confirm. Waluke John.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, for giving me this chance. Honorable Speaker, the ruling of the High Court.
After Waluke, I'll give 2-3 others, then we close.
The ruling of the High Court, Speaker, was overtaken by event because it has taken almost 3 years, and the case was filed with the certificate of urgency, where the 3-bench judge could have acted very quickly and gave the ruling immediately. Mr. Speaker, there is nowhere where it says that the Speaker cannot hold any political office, Mr. Speaker. There's nowhere. So, Mr. Speaker, make the ruling. On the side of majority and minority, Mr. Speaker, these two, the difference is very little in terms of, there's no difference in terms of salary or in terms of working, Mr. Speaker. So time is, there are people now aligning themselves politically for the next general elections, Mr. Speaker. So time is of essence, and we plead that, I plead that, Mr. Speaker, the members of this House also need to consider that we are almost going to elections. So the two should be left the way they are, the majority and the minority. I don't see any hedge that can force to say that.
Timothy Kipchumba.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, Article 3(1) of the Constitution provides that everyone has an obligation to respect, protect, and uphold the Constitution. Honorable Speaker, we therefore as a House have that obligation to respect the court decision. Honorable Speaker, the decision of the court, the effect of it is that it declared your ruling a nullity. Honorable Speaker, however, I have read that ruling. Honorable Speaker, I beseech you not to proceed to issue a direction on this matter until this matter is appealed before the Court of Appeal. Honorable Speaker, there are unsettled matters in that decision that must be subjected to the test of the Court of Appeal. Honorable Speaker, one of the issues touches on your election to the office of the Speaker. Honorable Speaker, you may not be able to render a decision on that particular part of the ruling. Honorable Speaker, so that we are safe as a House, it is good to subject, if we can get a stay, so that the status quo, not status quo ante, but the status quo before this ruling obtains, then, Honorable Speaker, it will be safe and it will protect this House. Honorable Speaker, whichever decision you make in this House, it will have a political impact. So, Honorable Speaker, my opinion is this decision is appealed. We retain the status quo as it is, not the status quo ante. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Discussing court rulings, and because I thought that generally what we do with court rulings is implement them. But we have spent the whole afternoon discussing this issue of the court ruling, whether the judges were right or they are wrong.
Robert Mbui, if you
Mr.
listen
Speaker,
to the beginning, don't take us back. When Emilio Odhiambo, who is your leader, raised the issue, you are here. And the House was given direction by the Speaker. So I expect your contribution to tell the House which way you want us to go. But to go back and say for the last 3 hours we have been exercising in futility, you are taking a wrong trajectory. I know you are senior and a leader, I should have given you an opportunity at the beginning, but you also started off by very unorthodox conduct.
Mr. Speaker, I was only trying to claim my position as a deputy leader of the majority based on the ruling that we read of the court. But Mr. Speaker, you know, the issue of majority, which is what we are discussing, is not an issue, in my opinion, that's supposed to be decided either by the Speaker or even this House. This is a decision that is made by Kenyans when they cast their ballots at the end of the last, at the elections. And Mr. Speaker, even the issue of that you are supposed to make a ruling or you are supposed to say who is majority or minority, Mr. Speaker, really what you are supposed to do is convey the information that has come from the, from the register of political parties when they indicate how many members are in each coalition. So, Mr. Speaker, I think that what is happening in Kenya now, Mr. Speaker, and why I think we are having this problem is because Parliament and politics in Kenya has become very indecent. Mr. Speaker, it's important that when people are elected in a certain coalition, they spend their 5 years in that coalition. And Mr. Speaker, if anyone feels that they do not want to belong to that coalition, the law is also very clear that you can go and seek a fresh mandate. But you know what we have been doing here, Mr. Speaker, is that people are elected in one party in the middle of the term, they jump ship and go to another party. Our leader, Raila Amolo Odinga, was in a party and he was dissatisfied. He left, went for a by-election, was re-elected, was brought back to the House. This business of people just crossing, I think, Mr. Speaker, is a problem, and that is why we are here today. Otherwise, I want us to respect the court ruling. Majority is the Azimio, and the minority can take up their position on the other side. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Robert Mbui. Ferdinand Wanyonyi.
The Speaker, thank you very much for the chance. I think I've sat here and
Don't
I've listened
complain.
to
Just go on.
contribution to everybody else. I think as you retreat to go to look at this, Mr. Speaker, I think the best thing is look at the coalition we had before election and after election. See which coalition has which numbers. And that if you have got the number, you don't be able to know who the members are. And given that, you can be able to, because as I see, we are late. We are
Order, Women Rep Migori.
Yeah. So
yes.